Hey there, YouTubers and YouTuber dads in particular. This is Ninth Prince coming at you with the fourth in our line of Advice for Dads series. So today we're going to talk about perk setups. But before we get to that, let me just sort of give you a sense for what's going to be happening in this clip. Now, this is just a free-for-all game and on mission, and this is going to be wildly campy. All right, so I'm just going to warn you about that ahead of time. You know, there's a couple different schools of thoughts about camping. I can tell you that Thanatos thinks it's like the end of the world. I'm not huge on camping, but when you're first learning how to play, it's probably a way that will help you to get some pretty good, or possibly some good KD outcomes. Now the thing about it is you don't ever want to sit in one spot for, you know, maybe get one or two kills from a spot and then move along. All right. Otherwise, they just get a sense for exactly where you are, and it's too easy to kill you. Now, the thing about camping, at least on this particular map up in this corner, is that, and what you'll notice is that basically in free for all, they're going to come to you once they know that you're camping. All right, they're going to hunt you down, you know, like a dog. And that can kind of work to your advantage because, like I said, they're going to come to you ultimately. You just have to be ready for them when they get there. All right. So back to the perk setups. All right. So, excuse me, 3 different perk slots. Let's talk about the 3 in order. So the first perk slot. All right. So I'm going to tell you that in the first perk slot, basically what I would suggest is you run sleight of hand. And I mean, I run sleight of hand pretty much all the time. If for no other reason than I probably reload, like I've said before, a little bit too often. But sleight of hand lets you get that reload done faster. I think that recon is probably, in the long run, probably a pretty good perk to run as well, because once you get recon pro, even your bullets paint the opponents, and so you're more likely to get assists, which is going to work well if you run hardline in the second perk slot. We'll talk about that in a second. All right, so I think Recon's actually a reasonable first slot perk as well, although again I tend to run sleight of hand almost all the time. Scavenger is one that it sounds good, but if you're just starting out, the odds of you actually running out of bullets are pretty slim. I run Scavenger on my AA-12 class because that gun runs out of shells really quick, and so I need to sort of resupply. But you know, Scavenger can be useful, but probably not as useful when you're just starting out. Blind Eye, I'm not a big Blind Eye fan, but if you're going to be running the support strike package, then, and if you're using a stinger and shooting stuff down, that's probably, you know, could be a reasonable way to go. Extreme conditioning is going to have probably absolutely no use for you, you know, at this point. All right, in the second perk slot, so we've got what I'm going to suggest for you there is going to be Hardline. And what Hardline does is it decreases the number of kills you need by 1 in order to get a given kill streak reward. So the Predator is normally a 5 kill kill streak, but if you have Hardline, it only takes 4. And the nice thing about Hardline Pro, once you get it, is that 2 assists then are counted as a kill towards your perks, or you know, towards getting your kill streak. So that's a really nice advantage. All right, so I run Hardline almost exclusively. Quick Draw can be another one that's going to be nice if you're running, you know, an assault rifle. Just lets you ADS a little bit faster. Blast Shield can be useful if you're playing objective-based games, which you're probably not going to be playing objective-based games if you're just starting out with this game. Overkill is not going to have probably a whole lot of use for you at this point. It lets you basically carry 2 primaries. And there's one more perk in this perk slot that I'm not going to talk about for reasons that I've talked about before, because we're just not going to use it because we're not noobs. All right, the third perk slot I don't have a whole lot of use for. But the one perk that I really like out in that one is going to be Steady Aim. Steady Aim reduces your hipfire spread, and like I've said in previous videos, I always sort of recommend that when you got somebody in front of you, you just start, you know, you hipfire first. Don't worry about going ADS before you start firing. And the Steady Aim sort of shrinks up the spread, or the sort of the pattern of your bullets. So I think that's a really nice thing to run. A lot of people run Stalker because it basically is going to allow you to walk past claymores. And so if you're frustrated by getting killed by claymores, that's not a bad way to go, Stalker. The remaining three, Marksman, Sit Rep, and Dead Silence, don't have a whole lot of use for. So not even going to talk about them too much. All right, so in that third perk slot, again, I'd say Steady Aim or Stalker. All right, so let me talk about... so my general recommendation is that you run something like Sleight of Hand, Hardline, and then Steady Aim in the third perk slot. Now let's talk about sort of matching that up with sort of the strike packages, I guess they're called. Now, if you're trying to level up quickly, and this is how I came at it for the first, I don't know, 2.5, 3 prestiges, I was just trying to get prestiges as quickly as possible. And so what I decided to do, and what kind of works, is you run the Specialist Strike package, and what you do is you make sure that you're running Hardline. So your very first kill, you get bonus points for it, and you get a new perk. And so it's a so you go run the Specialist class in like Team Deathmatch, and you'll rack up the points a lot faster than you would if you were running something else. By the way, I'm going to just camp in here a little bit. This is a place where, it looks kind of appealing, but the reality is if you sit here and get 1 or 2 or 3 kills, somebody at the end, sooner or later, is going to snipe you from up on that the top part there, and I'm going to get sniped here pretty quick, I think. So you don't want to overstay your welcome in this little room. All right, but back to, so if you're trying to level up quickly, you're going to want to, there I get killed. Like I said, run the Specialist package and run that with Hardline in the second perk slot, and so you get the extra perk with your very first kill, and you rack up the points a lot faster. If you're going for a high KD outcome in a particular game, let's say you're sort of worried about your KD ratio, then what you're going to want to do is probably run the Strike package, and I would say, again, with make sure Hardline's in your second perk slot, and run something like Predator, Airstrike, and Attack Helicopter. All right, so it only takes 4 kills to get to the Predator. One of those could be shooting something down. One of them could be a Claymore. You don't really need that many kills in order to get to sort of the good stuff, and then you let your strike packages, your kill streaks do the work for you. Alternatively, if you're sort of bored of that setup, you just go Predator, Attack Helicopter, Reaper. And the Reaper can be kind of fun to use, although I've sort of struggled with it a little bit since I'm new to it. All right, there's going to be something that's going to come up here real quick, and I just want to show you guys this because it's a little bit funny. So I'm going to jump over, I'm going to come up over this little ramp here, and there's going to be this guy. So this is the guy that's leading in points. He's trying to end the game with a 360 no-scope. So that's why he's doing that crazy business of spinning around and then shooting. All right, so you'll see that. You'll come across it every now and then. Somebody who's trying to get a final kill cam with a 360 no-scope. Of course, he's going to come back, and he's going to kill me for the game winner. All right, so that's going to pretty much wrap things up for today. I'm not sure. Again, I can never remember what I went, and he's going to no-scope me here. That's a pretty nice shot. I'm thinking I came in second place, but yeah, 25 and 14. So this is your standard, kind of game. Ninth Prince out.